Anyway, I'm Storm331, back to doing more guides, and we're going to be covering Cait Sith next. So, while I was doing research on him, let's just say Cait Sith is, despite having less limit breaks, he actually has a ton of attacks associated with slots. But yeah, everyone does not love Cait Sith. I actually enjoy his controller, Reeve Teresi, more better. But unfortunately, he had to deal with this robot cat with an animated Mog for the most part. But anyway, Cait Sith is probably your after Aerith's death is probably your second best magic user after Cloud. But other than that, he pretty much does pretty poorly on everything except for anything related to magic, which is mostly MP, magic, spirit, and luck. But does pretty poorly with HP, MP, strength, dexterity, and vitality. He's probably got the lowest vitality with 78. As for his other stats, he ranks 5th in HP with 8,886, third for MP with 853, 7th for strength in terms of his strength being 82, 57th 57 for dexterity, which is ranked 7th against the current party members. Of course, I already said vitality being dead last against the entire party at 78. 138 for magic, which is ranked 2nd. 98 is at 2nd place for Cait Sith, having the second highest spirit in the entire game. And of course, he has a 4-way tie with luck at 30. So basically, Cait Sith is pretty terrible in combat, which is very funny because he gets access to HP Shout, which allows him to basically run up and smack foes and allows him to deal way more damage, which is actually compensates his pretty poor strength. So after Aerith leaves the party, he'll probably be your second worst physical attacker in the entire game. Vincent has probably the lowest. So yeah, when I was doing research on Cait Sith's limit breaks, and particularly his slots, he has a ton of attacks in regards to slots. But technically, I prefer his dice, and those are actually more usable once he gets past level 60. As a matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and cover those right now. So anyway, the first limit break he starts off with dice. So when he first joins, he'll throw only 2 dice. And after level 30 up until 60, he'll gain additional dice. So basically, when you get to level 30, it'll become 3 dice. 40, it'll be 4, 50, 5, and then 6 dice at level 60. So damage is calculated based on the size of the dice that you throw out, in addition to the sum of the dice. So basically, it takes into the calculation of your how much damage you'll be implementing your through the dice. So basically, if you were to roll 6 dice, you'll add up the results from those dice from 1 through 6. Then it takes into account the size of the dice. So if you have 6 dice being rolled out, that gets calculated by both of them through 100. Yeah, the math formula is not exactly one of my strong areas, but basically it adds and multiplies the sum and the size of the dice altogether from the results of your dice plus how many dice you have out, and then multiplies them by 100, and then you get pretty much high damage. Technically, it only this limit break only works very well when you get past level 60 for the most part. But other than that, this will probably be his weakest one until that point. But then again, it's pretty easy to hit one enemy for very high damage, assuming if your rolls are very high, like getting up to 6, 5, or 4. So now we go to the meat and potatoes for Cait Sith. Now, if you're familiar with Setzer from Final Fantasy VI, Cait Sith functions as our gambler for this game, and slots in this game, unlike Final Fantasy VI, are a little bit more diverse, and actually makes losing spins actually more useful. So we're going to go over the winning combinations in addition to the effects that are applied to them. So if you get 3 crowns, you'll get Toy Soldier. This deals 5 times normal damage, so this is actually a pretty strong limit break for Cait Sith to utilize if you get the 3 crowns. So if you get 3 stars, you get access to Mog Dance. This allows Cait Sith to heal the entire party of all their HP and MP. So your entire party gets healed, pretty much, if you get the 3 stars. So if you get 3 hearts, you'll get Lucky Girl. This allows Cait Sith and the entire party to make all their attacks critical hits and make them automatic. And this will last until those party members get KO'd or until the battle ends. Transformers is a very interesting combination. If you get 3 Moogles, this will allow Cait Sith's Mog to transform into a massive giant. And it also merges all of your allies' stats with Cait Sith to make him a pretty powerful one party member army, pretty much. So with their combined stats for the rest of the battle, this will allow Cait Sith to gain pretty huge stats, but they can't go over the natural limits. So if it goes up to 9,999 HP and 999 MP, that will not be surpassed, and that also applies to limit breaks as well. Limit breaks are not usable while in this form, and after the battle ends, it'll split any of the HP and MP back to those party members. One interesting thing to note is that if this is done when one of your party members is defeated, this will revive that said party member, but this cannot be used if Cait Sith is by himself. So keep that in mind if you're using slots and your other 2 party members are KO'd, you will not be able to use Transform when those party members are down. You can use it when 1 party member is down, but you cannot use it when 2 party members are down. And just like Cait Sith from Final Fantasy VI, he has his own form of instant death to all enemies and party members. You'll get access to Game Over when you get 3 faces. So this basically inflicts instant death to all enemies, bypasses immunity to death, but it can only be blocked if that said enemy has magic immunity. So this is basically the Death Joker of Final Fantasy VII. It applies to all enemies. Death Joker, or the polar opposite of Game Over, for Final Fantasy VII is the next one. This one gives you 2 faces and 1 bar. This inflicts instant death to all of your entire party members unless they have magic immunity, like Peerless. This also bypasses any instant death protection, like Safety Bed, so or Death Force or whatever. So this is an automatic game over for your entire party if this combination ever gets hit. And of course, this is also another countermeasure to prevent players from manipulating the slots to get game over every chance they get. So this actually punishes players for trying to bypass normal procedure when it comes to slots. So the next one that Cait Sith gets access to is Summon. This allows him to call up any random summon Montiera. At higher levels, there is a small chance of calling out Knights of the Round. So basically, you'll get this when you get 3 bars. And what type of summon you get, whether it be low or high, actually depends on Cait Sith's level. So if Cait Sith's level is pretty low, you'll get like pretty much low-level summons. But at high level, he'll get actually more powerful summons to call up when you get summoned. Now, we already covered the winning combinations for any of the slot rolls, so when you get any losing slot rolls, you'll get access to Toy Box. Now, believe it or not, Toy Box, despite being a losing rule, actually gives you some of Cait Sith's best attacks in the entire game, and they all deal damage to enemies. So you get 7 different outcomes depending on what occurs. One outcome is Falling Rock. This deals 2 times normal damage to one enemy. You can also get Icicles. Despite the name of these attacks, these don't deal elemental damage. But with Icicles, you'll deal 2.5 times normal damage to one enemy. Weight deals 3 times normal damage to all enemies. Hammer deals 3.5 times normal damage to one enemy. Fat Chocobo deals 4 times normal damage to one enemy. Hell House deals 4.5 times normal damage to one enemy. And Meteorite, which is basically his strongest, deals 5 times normal damage to one enemy. So Meteorites and Toy Soldier are actually his best physical damaging limit breaks that he gets access to. But as you can see right here, Toy Box is actually pretty dang powerful if you get one of the more heavy hitting options. Of course, the ones you want to prioritize are hope you get is Fat Chocobo, Hell House, or Meteorites. But anyway, that covers Cait Sith's limit breaks and stats. So as you can definitely tell, Cait Sith is, despite not being one of the better characters, he actually has some pretty dang good attacks when it comes to Toy Box, and actually has some pretty interesting slot winning combinations if you want to make full use of him. But of course, there's actually more party members that can do a way better job than Cait Sith does in limit breaks. But anyway, we'll be covering Vincent next. I'm going to take a small break to gather my thoughts, hydrate my throat, and I will be right back.